What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and today we are bringing you our Week 5 matchup from the PWO Season 15 Dual Type Draft. And this week we are taking on Coach Cuppa and his Queensland Conch Elders. His type is Normal Ghost. Those are his two types. Pretty interesting combination, pretty tough combination to prep against, and as you can see in front of you, he has a pretty scary team. So let's go through his entire team. He's got Annihilate, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Typhlosion Hisui, Mega Sableye, Mimikyu, Delmise, Cyclizar, Spectrier, Smeargle, Blissey, and Dunsparce. So first thing I noticed whenever I looked at the team preview was no Mimikyu. I thought Mimikyu would probably come. I felt like the disguise was actually pretty good against me. But you see, he brought Delmise, Ursula Blood Moon, Spectrier, Smeargle, the Dunsparce, and Annihilate, while I'm bringing the. Let me move this over. There we go. While I'm bringing Nidoqueen, Iron Valiant, Mega Altaria, Piloswine, Grimmsnarl, and Seismitoad. Now, my Nidoqueen is pretty bulky. You'll see the stats I ran in the post-game interview. But whenever I looked at his prep, whenever I looked at his team for the first time, the first couple things that stood out was, one, Ursaluna Blood Moon is super scary, and two, I cannot let the Smeargle get some hazard set up, so I was like, my Nidoqueen set is built specifically to shut down the Smeargle. I have a bulky but fast Nidoqueen. I have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Smeargle because the typical Smeargle set is max speed, max HP with a sash. But my Nidoqueen has Taunt with Toxic Spikes. Because I think Toxic Spikes can be really, really good against his team. If you looked at his team, he had no grounded poison type. And the only removal he had was the Delmise with Rapid Step. So if I can get them up and keep them up, that's gonna be huge to wear down his team, wear down those threats like Ursaluna, the Annihilate, the bulky threat like the Dunsparce. So we go ahead. I said to myself going into prep, I said if I see the Smeargle, I'm 100% leading Nidoqueen, and if he leads the Smeargle, which he likely will, I'll go ahead and get a Taunt off. So as you can see here, we go ahead and lead the Nidoqueen as he leads the Smeargle, and that's exactly what happens. We go for Taunt as he tries to go for Spore, which I think was kind of an interesting play. I thought it would be... There's something on my camera. I thought it would maybe be Sticky Webs or something, but I guess Spore makes a lot of sense. You can kind of... what's the word I'm thinking of? You can kind of put something to sleep. That thing is asleep, and then you can set up your Sticky Webs if you really want to. Let me take a drink real quick. He goes out into the Dunsparce. I'm not really sure what this thing wants to do. I didn't do a whole lot of prep for this thing. I did a little bit. But he goes out into the Dunsparce. Well, I go ahead and get up a layer of Toxic Spikes. I only want one layer. I don't feel like needing Toxic on any of the other Mons in the back would be more worthwhile than getting this 12% every turn. I don't think needing to rack stuff up over time, except for on the Pokemon that I'm already in front of. So, here I think about it, I'm just like, well, let's see what he wants to go for. I can't touch this thing. My only attacking moves are Shadow Ball and Ice Beam. I don't have a stab on my Nidoqueen. I don't think he's gonna go for like a Coil or a Glare here because I've shown Taunt. So I'm half expecting either a Body Slam or Earthquake here, something like that, maybe like a Hyper Drill. I think that's the name of the move that it gets is Hyper Drill. So I go ahead and I go out into my Piloswine as he just goes for the Coil. So hey, good play on his part. I thought for sure he would be, it'd be a little bit ballsy to go ahead and go for that move. But I showed Taunt. But I guess he kind of looks at it as, if I go for Taunt, I still have to switch out anyway. I probably can't touch him because the Dunsparce is really fat on the special side. So I go ahead and I go out into Piloswine. I'm like, you know what? I have Toxic on Piloswine. I can give this thing a Toxic. If it pairs me and we have to play around pairs, that's kind of unfortunate. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So on this turn, he goes ahead and goes for a second Coil, which is really scary. As I go for a Toxic, we land it. And so here, I'm looking at my team. the only offensive mon I have on this team that's special is the Iron Valiant, but I can't kill this thing right now because, like I said, this Dunsparce has very good special bull naturally. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stay in. I know I can live 2 body slams from this position with my Piloswine. I got it toxic, and I can click Earthquake to try to start wearing this thing down a little bit. He goes for the body slam. He does get the para, which is unfortunate. We go for stealth rocks here. Sorry, I wanted rocks up in this game as well. Rocks are good to break the sash on the Smeargle as it comes in. You can get damage on all these Pokemon. He only has 1 rocks resist on the team. So here is where I decide to go ahead and go for an Earthquake as he goes for the body slam. We get a little bit of damage off it. It does very little, but that little bit combined with the toxic damage starting to rack up a little bit is in a good spot. I thought about going for Ice Shard here, but I was like, well, if he goes for Roost, then I want to be able to try to get as much damage off as possible, because I know Ice Shard wouldn't do very much damage. But he just decides to go for the body slam, and after the toxic damage, that takes me down to 41%. I know that my Iron Valiant can now kill with an Aura Sphere. We are a special Iron Valiant, which is unfortunate because, you know, with a booster energy mon, you want to try to keep it in the back until it chain kills. We're not in position to do that, but we have to take care of the threat in front of us. I do have Grimmsnarl with Darkest Lariat in the back, but that was another Pokemon that I really didn't want to risk anything happening to. We have an offensive bulk up set on Grimmsnarl, and I'm really trying to save that in the back so I can multiple chain kills with it later in the game. But I go ahead, I get my Quark Drive, I go ahead and go for the Aura Sphere. That picks up the KO on the Dunsparce. We knew that would kill as he goes out into the Delmise. Now, here I make a little bit of a misplay. I forgot that Anchor Shot was a move that exists in the world of Pokemon. Everything that I was calcing showed that he couldn't kill me no matter what, unless he was like a choice band or something. But so I'm like, you know what? I have Shadow Ball, but with my speed boost, I outspeed everything on this team. So I'm like, I might as well just go ahead and set up Calm Minds. There's nothing this thing can do that can kill me. But I forgot Anchor Shot was a thing, and he goes for the Anchor Shot and just still beats me. If he wasn't adamant max attack, that's still a roll, I believe, to not kill it heavily in his favor, but it is still a roll. But that's just bad playing on my part. I forgot Anchor Shot was a move that exists. So unfortunately, the only thing I have that I can go into that can definitely kill this is my Grimmsnarl. So I go ahead and go out into Grimmsnarl here as I go for the Darkest Lariat. We pick up the KO. That was always a KO. He goes out into the Annihilate. We see he's not Boots. I think about this play here for a very, very long time. I don't want to switch to give him a free, bulk up turn maybe, because I was really, really worried about bulk up Annihilate. But I was also worried about, things like Final Gambit, things like this it being a banded with like close combat, some banded close combat, and this would do so I just decided, I was like, of the 3 Mons that I have left, of the 4 Mons I have left, Altaria is by far the most expendable. So I'm going to go ahead and go out into Altaria as he does reveal the Final Gambit. I'm 100% fine with this, trading Altaria for the Annihilate. Altaria, it was kind of here just for defog and Heal Bell support. I really thought that there was a decent chance that the Mega Sableye could come, but it didn't. And I'm fine. Like I said, I'm fine with that trade. Trading Annihilate for Altaria is 100% fine. I do not mind that trade at all. So here we're in a very simplified game state. It's 3v3. He has 3 full health Pokemon. I have 3 full health Pokemon, but he has Rock and a layer of T-Spikes up on his field. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Let me go out. Let me go Nidoqueen. I thought about maybe going Seismitoad, but Seismitoad can't outspeed Smeargle, and neither can Grimmsnarl, I don't believe. Yeah, my Seismitoad's not fast enough to outspeed Smeargle, so I'm like, let me lead Nidoqueen. If he goes into Smeargle again, I can go ahead and taunt again and try to heal. And that's exactly what happens. He goes for Smeargle as I go into Nidoqueen. His sash is broken, not that really matters. I go for taunt as he goes for the ceaseless edge, which is kind of annoying, but it does very little damage to me. My black sludge recovers that, so I'm like, okay, he's gonna do that. That's fine. I'll go ahead and go for ice beam as he racks up some poison damage. He goes for the ceaseless edge. Yes, there's 2 layers of spikes up, but like I said, my black sludge is recovering more than that's doing. That's not a big deal. So at this point, I'm telling myself, Nidoqueen is in until it dies. I have Shadow Ball to hit the Spectrier. I have Ice Beam to hit the Ursaluna. The only way that I feel like I'm in a really, really powerful position right now because nothing on his team can OHKO me. If he's anything that I have left, nothing he has. The Spectre cannot OHKO anything that I have left. The only way I really lose here is if I let this thing like sub nasty plot or something like that, or get a free nasty plot off of any kind. So I'm like, you know what, Nidoqueen, you're in till you die. You did a great job. You shut down Smeargle early, and you got a layer of T-Spikes up, which has really helped wear down threats on this team. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and click Shadow Ball. Spectre takes the rocks and the poison from the Toxic Spikes and tries to set up a sub, which is exactly what I was afraid of. We go for the Shadow Ball, we break that sub. I go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball here as he switches into the Ursaluna Blood Moon, which is a fair play on his part. We get it poisoned. And here I'm like, you know what? Hey, Nidoqueen, you did a great job. You were fantastic in this game. I'm going to go for a nice Ice Beam here, get some damage off on this thing. We do 50% as it goes for the Earth Power to KO us. And here, I guess I could have gone into Grimmsnarl to get the last kills of the game. Grimmsnarl, we're probably looking back, I probably should have. But I go ahead and go out into Seismitoad. I didn't want this thing to be Choppleberry. It ended up being Choppleberry. You'll see that in the post-game interview. My Drain Punch would have been a roll through Choppleberries. But I was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and just go for the liquidation. I don't want to risk anything. We get the KO. He goes out into the Spectrier. And we live a Draining Kiss, we live a Shadow Ball, we live anything you want to go for here. And we click Knockoff to get the very, very clean 2-0 victory. And we beat a good player in Cuppa. We finally get a win against someone who has a winning record in this league. Our early season has been against teams who aren't having the best time of it so far. But this was a good match against, like I said, a team that has been successful so far in this season. He was 3-1. I mean, we were both 3-1 coming into this game. So we get to move to 4-1. Our sets worked pretty much exactly how we wanted. Would have loved for Iron Valiant to maybe put in a little bit more work. Definitely would have loved for Grimmsnarl to put in more work because how many opportunities am I going to get to bring up Grimmsnarl? I mean, I got the Ghost matchup I wanted. The other Ghost team did not look good for that kind of matchup. But you know what? We take what we can get, and that was a very, very clean 2-0. And we will see you in a second in the interview. What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and it is just after the game between myself and Cuppa. And we're here. We're going to talk about the matchup, the teams, and talk about the game. So, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me on, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy that everyone's wanted to do this so far.
I mean, everyone in our league's pretty chill, so
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
everyone sort of has known of each other for the last I don't know, at least 5 years.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while.
yeah,
Um, but so the first thing I knew you were gonna be Choppleberry or Saluna too. I almost clicked Drain Punch, and I was like, but that like if you were Choppleberry, that had a
yeah,
chance potentially to live. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna click. I'm gonna click
yeah,
Liquidation.
yeah, which was a good call. It was just the obvious pick into. I think the only thing that really worried me, like killing Ursaluna in one hit, was
Yeah, Valiant.
It was Iron Val. So I just whacked Chopple on and figured that I could kill it with one Blood Moon, so it seemed like a good bring. But
Yeah, this Ursaluna scared the absolute daylights out of me in prep. Absolutely
yeah, it's
scared
been
the
a demon
shit out of
so
me.
far.
And you've been
Feels like
playing it really well too.
thanks, I appreciate that.
So that thing
But it feels
scared me.
like it's sort of no one really has much of an answer to it
Hmm.
because of the dual type, and it's so fat physically, and has so much HP that yeah, it feels like it's really difficult for people to play into it, especially when it gets reliable recovery or it can
Absolutely.
run vest and even with no investment, with base 135 special, and then Blood Moon's like 140 base power or something ridiculous. It's just a really, it's turning into one of my favorite draft mons, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's making me kind of wish that I had taken it instead of Chomp. Whenever I was looking at it in prep, I was like, this thing is a fucking demon. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. Obviously, didn't perform the best this game,
No,
but
I prepped hard for that thing.
yeah, no, I was basically playing one mon down. It felt like with that once rocks were up and the sash was broken on Smeagol, I felt um pretty not good about things. But I do think though that on that turn, that first turn you ice beamed into it, that only did 50 because obviously you weren't like attack invested.
No, yeah, I think
Um,
I had
yeah,
90. I had 92 special attack.
if I endeavored there because I had endeavor on
Yeah,
Smeagol, and then obviously I could bring out spec, um,
kill it.
and just click sub, and you had to either stay in and like fair enough if you did, and if you didn't, then I could I don't know how much I would do to Grimsnarl actually with
Well,
draining kiss.
at
Probably
at
not too much.
at that point though, like Nido Queen was in until it died.
Yeah,
Like,
which is fair.
I mean, and that's why like the first time and I did see whenever you tried to set up the sub on it the first time, I was like, I saw that you couldn't kill with anything, so I'm like, I'm not really saving this for anything. And between Grimmsnarl and Seismitoad, I was like, Ursaluna can't outspeed anything, and so I know I can, even if it comes in with full HP, everything I have can attack it, and then the next Mon can kill it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, I cannot let you get like for example, like you were sub nasty plot. I was like, if you're sub nasty plot with the spec, I cannot let you get that sub up for free. I was like, so Nido Queen was in until it died at that point.
Yeah, and cause Grim was still around, I couldn't just lock myself. If like even if I was a choice item, I couldn't lock myself into Shadow Ball.
Right.
But I'm surprised you didn't have Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl. That's what I was real worried about.
Well, the problem is with the set, with the bulk up set. Like whenever that was the first thing I thought whenever I was like looking at prep. I was like, ooh, this could be the week that I can actually bring bulk up
offensive
Grimmsnarl. And I was really excited.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I have to bring Spirit Break for Annihilate. Because like Darkest Lariat, I'd have to be like +4 to kill with Darkest Lariat if you're like max HP.
Yeah,
So,
and which I was obviously for Final Gambit, but
right. And so I was like, if so, like I was like, I kind of have to bring Spirit Break, but like I wanted Darkest Lariat, like I said, for the bulk up Annihilate. But like if you are bulk up, I can hit you through the bulk ups. There was something else that I was worried about. I wanted to hit with it, but I think I needed to get
Sableye, I would say.
There was something else I needed to hit. I think it might have been Sableye. Like I needed Darkest Lariat to 2-hit KO.
Oh,
No,
Sableye would have been Spirit Break.
Oh yeah, Spirit Break. Yeah, Spirit Break. I needed Spirit Break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I needed. So I couldn't fit Sucker Punch on there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
then,
but I love those weeks when you can bring like a weird, you see the set on like like offensive Blissey or something like with Calm Mind, and you're just like, fuck, finally I can pull this shit along.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect the Dunsparce too much. I thought it might come, but I was like, I mean, I've got Valiant, so I was kind of surprised to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I was running the calcs and anything except close combat, I was pretty happy to sit in front of, to be honest. With the Dunsparce, like I didn't even have Choppleberry, and I think Aura Sphere was only doing like 46 to 55 or something.
Yeah, that's like when it was in front of me, which that was a really good play by you on turn, like I think like turn 3 maybe. Which like I had already showed the taunt on Nido Queen. I was like, well, surely he's not gonna go for a coil or a glare. I was like, I've shown taunt, and so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and go out into Piloswine. I was like,
yeah, I mean,
and I was like, if he does go for coil, I have toxic.
Yeah, it was safe, so it was a good play.
So I was like, and then you went for it. I was like, fuck. And then I was like, I saw how much Valiant was gonna do to it, and I was like, well, as much as I really don't want to bring Valiant in this early, it's really my only option to take this thing out right now before it just claims another kill. So, but I mean, if anything else, it got rid of Pile of Swine, and it forced me to go Valiant super early.
Yeah, I mean it was assuming that you would. Well, actually, I have your page so I can have a look.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, since you're timid, yeah, Aurasphere was doing 47.5 to 55.9. So I was tossing up that turn. Why it took a little while was I was tossing up whether to roost or to body slam again. Because if you got parried, I would have been like
Oh
an
yeah.
extra like 12% healthier. Um, but if you didn't get parried, I would have been lower. So it was just like, fuck it, I'll go with the safe play and just
Yeah.
get this thing
Because I
out of the
didn't. I
way.
was I was looking at all my calcs, and like I was. I mean, as you can see, I was lum on Grimmsnarl. So I was like, I could have just gone in and gone for Darkest Lariat 3-year boost. I don't know how much. I don't remember how much that would have done.
I can check for you.
But
Um, how much HP do you have? 56. Because I think it be like I didn't realize even until I put the Dunsparce in like my prep this week. It has 100 base attack for some fucking reason. So
yeah, it's one of those
body
weird
slam
things.
body slam at +2 to your Grimmsnarl did 75. Believe it
Hmm.
or not, 75 to 88. So you might have been lump, but you would have been fucking dead. But
How much would have Darkest Lariat have done to you?
oh, Dark Slayer to me would have done probably a lot.
I don't remember. Yeah.
It would have done. Does it go through boost or something? Is that
Yes. Yes. Darkest Lariat
because
it ignores defense boosts.
yeah? So it would have done 38 to 45,
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's why I didn't go Grimmsnarl.
and that's yeah. And
Okay.
Dadan has had no defense because it just has 125 HP. It's pretty ridiculous. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
is. I mean,
It's a weird way that they evolved that Pokemon. I don't know how I feel about it. Just
yeah,
tacked an extra
everyone
circle on
kind
him
of
and
wanted this
gave him
like
HP.
dragon
Normal
fairy
dragon,
kind of
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and it's just okay. We're gonna give you what you guys have been asking for, but we're gonna make it a meme because we're Pokemon.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
that makes sense. I like it. I should probably bring it more. I feel like Boom Burst Throat Spray could be a really cool set one week.
oh,
Um,
absolutely.
but I wanted Rest Talk, but I could not leave off Ice Spinner for Chomp because I was just so scared of it in prep. I was running through like if there's ever any scenario where Chomp gets to +2, I'm just completely fucked. I think
Oh,
at that point. So
yeah,
I just had to. And that's why I had Smeagol with Endeavor and Focus Sash and Ape with Gambit was because I just had to like my game plan going into it was try and take two things out early and then with the like final Gambit and
right.
then like a Spore get it like so I'm not worried about it or the Endeavor with Sash.
Yeah,
Obviously neither of those worked, so well prepped, but
I like.
and then
Go ahead, keep going.
once that was the case, I was hoping that one of the other four uh, could do work and clean it up because I think pretty much all of them just had one or two things to worry about. So I was just sort of rolling the dice and seeing which ones I got with the one hits and then going from there. But
Yeah,
obviously didn't work out that way.
yeah. I'm really glad the Nidoqueen set put in work because like whenever
Oh
like
yeah,
because I couldn't let you hazard stack with Smeargle. I was like I can't get webs getting up is death for my team basically. And so I
yeah.
was
When
like,
I had
I didn't I knew what set I wanted to bring on Grimmsnarl, and then I was looking. I was like, okay, what else on my team gets taunt? And I was like, okay, Valiant and Nidoqueen both get taunt. I didn't really, I definitely didn't want to run it on Valiant. And then like I looked at your team and I was like, you know what, bulky Nidoqueen with T spikes actually looks really good.
yeah, did
And,
very well.
and
That'd be
I
the
was like,
MVP if
if,
I could pick it for
yeah,
the
oh,
week.
absolutely. And I was like, well, if he brings the Smeargle, I just lead it and we click taunt because if you're bringing Smeargle, you're bringing it to lead it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and yeah, I was like, if he leads Ursaluna, I can just click taunt to stop you from being like calm mind.
That would be a crazy turn one play,
Uh,
clicking Taunt into Ursalina as a
or
Nidoqueen. That would have been
or I just
unreal.
click
And
Ice Beam and do like
you would have
60%.
you would have yeah, you would have died for it though. But
But yeah, it
Taunt would
stops
have
it
been
stops
a
the calm.
crazy play.
uh,
Yeah.
but because I was like trying to think of like how could leading Nidoqueen go bad?
Yeah, it's
And
always like I didn't even take into account Taunt on Nidoqueen, to be honest. I
good,
assumed since it was out, you were just gonna like I obviously I should have checked. Fucking everything has Taunt.
just
When
Sludge
we run
Wave
legacy
or something like
movesets.
that.
But yeah, I assumed you were just gonna set. I thought you were gonna set rocks, which would sort of suck for me, but wasn't the end of the world, especially if I got a spore out.
Right.
Or I thought you were gonna set T spikes, which also would suck, but wouldn't have been the end of the world if I got the spore out. So I don't really know how I should have. Obviously, if I knew the taunt was there, I wouldn't have led Smeargle. But even after the taunt, I think I probably fucked it up by leaving the Dunsparce in on Piloswine and taking the Toxic there.
Yeah, but you were probably just calculating, be like, okay, well I can just set up coils on this, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew it was never going to do anything to me
right.
offensively, and I thought about Toxic, but I was like, you know, the T spikes are already up.
Hmm.
This thing doesn't have boots. Like, if I get it in, it's just going to be poisoned anyway. It's
Right.
Toxic now. Like, if I like, this is probably my best chance to just give it a run. So, and I got one thing out of the way, and
Yeah, and you forced
getting
out my
Pilus
and you
one,
yeah, and you forced out my Iron Valiant early too.
yeah, and getting Pilus one out was good for spec because that was like one of the big obstacles there.
Hmm.
Because it's just so bulky. I love Pilus one. It was one of my
Yeah,
most. I think it's probably still one of my most drafted
I'm loving using
mons of
it.
all time.
I'm really
Yeah, it's
enjoying
great.
using it. Like this is my first time using it, and I'm really enjoying it. I've used Mamoswine before and really loved. I've loved Mamoswine too, but this is my first
Yeah,
time using
funnily,
Pilo.
Pilus one also actually has base 100 attack.
Yeah,
Um, but
oh,
I
it's
guess
a
it was like at one
former
point it was
fully
the
evolved. Yeah,
final Evo. Yeah, exactly.
those
Pretty dog
mons.
shit final Evo, but
It's great whenever it gets a new one, and it can use Eviolite
yeah, if I, yeah, exactly.
with its
Yeah,
base like 90 defense and base 80 SPDF or whatever it is, something like that.
yeah,
Well,
80-60, I think.
you get to double. I guess like P2 it was like P2 was kind of a shit final evolution, and now that it can hold a Eviolite,
If I, yeah,
it
much
just never
better.
dies. But
Yeah, I do have to ask,
mm,
what was going through your mind on turn 11 when I had Ape out and you had Grimmsnarl out? Because in that time period that you must have been running calcs or something. Because
yes, I
it's
was
11:30 here, so I filled up my water bottle, I took a piss, and I brushed my teeth, and I came back, and it was still sitting out in front of me, and I was thinking, what
I
is this man thinking about?
I was thinking about I was like, what is this thing trying to do here? Because I was like, if
Yeah, I guess the
unless he's
default answer would be gunk shot.
yeah, I was like, unless he's adamant choice band, I can live a gunk shot. So I was like, but what is he? I was like, I know he's not boots. I was like, I was like, I don't know what he's gonna try to do here. I was like, if like, at this point, Altaria is by far my most useless member of the team. So I was like, at the end, I was like, I'm just gonna go out into Altaria, and he goes for what he goes for, and I can go from there. And I was super happy whenever I saw Final Gambit come out. I was like, okay, I'm so happy I
Yeah, I
went for
mean,
Altaria because that thing, that just killed anything that I switched in at that point. And I was like, yeah, Altaria was by far my most expendable member.
yeah, I'd have to have a look, but I don't think you had anything that lived the final gambit on your whole team, to be honest. I think that's
Probably
why I had
not.
it there, because Ape has more HP, I think, than everything else. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just whack it on there,
Oh yeah, I mean
because it's a
it's a
guaranteed
good
kill.
move. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get it
I
in.
do wish I wish I had gunk shot. But obviously hindsight. Because if Toad came in on a gunk shot, or Nidoqueen, I was in a pretty bad spot, so I couldn't really justify it
Yeah,
from
so
my
I'm
perspective.
like, because that's what I was like. I was like, if he goes for the gunk shot, I can. Oh, excuse me, man.
You remember?
I can go into Nido, like maybe go into Nido Queen after, because like, you don't really have anything that super scares me. But like, yeah, that would have been really not ideal. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, had I have clicked it though, even like once you were in Altaria, I mean, I guess how much speed did Altaria have
I don't think it had a
as
lot.
to whether you would have thought you could
112.
stay
I
in
don't
or
know. I
not?
don't remember what that was meant to outspeed. Maybe that was. I think that was meant
Yeah,
to outspeed max speed Ursaluna. I think.
But yeah, I mean, at that point, like, even if I did gunk shot, you just have to, like, you just get to pick what to go into again. Like, you wouldn't know that it's scarfed, so you'd have to pick something to go into. But it's a bad spot for me, and I probably would have doubled out, to be honest.
So
Risking Toad or Queen coming in. But yeah, Nitter Queen just took me by the balls, to be honest.
yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
was
I'm
basically playing one mon down.
but yep, but all right. Anything else that you notice? Because it's running longer
Um,
than most.
I don't think so. I was looking at just bringing. So I was talking to when I was talking to T for you about my prep briefly. I was saying like about bringing the like Smeagol and the Annihilate with Gambit and max HP.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying like I'm like I don't know what to do about this chomp. This is my plan, but I feel like I'm worried it's just going to be more viable to bring like the standard sets and just bring like say fuck it and bring Blissey
Mm-hmm.
and Mega Sableye instead. And obviously, in hindsight, I do wish that I'd done that,
Yeah,
because then I wouldn't have had to worry about the like the toxic. I could have just sat in front of everything except Valiant pretty well, or Grimmsnarl, obviously,
yeah.
or actually, or Altaria. But like I think I don't know. Sometimes I like tend to run into like I see one avenue I could take to win a game and everything goes just right and I
Yeah,
try and build around it. Even though it's probably at the end of the day better just to bring smoke on sets with 252,
that
252 and just click attack at what's in front of me. But
that's something that I I, I hate sometimes about Pokemon is like I'll have an idea in my head whenever I'm building. I'll be like, yo, if I can do this, I just win. And I was like, it just never happens. Like
yeah,
it seems
like
like
well,
it
I
never
think
happens.
one time yeah, I brought like Choice Specs Rev of Room or something against a guy who had Mega Sizzle because I saw that Overheat killed in one hit. It has like no other special moves. It's got like base 45 special attack. It's like complete dog shit set, but I brought it anyway. It lost me the game, and I brought it anyway. But I was like, man, it could be so cool. So I think probably yeah, that's a little bit of what I ran into, but can't put it too much down to that. You prepped well and you played well, so
Oh, I
you
appreciate it.
know I'll take the 3-2 and move on with my funny little troll normal ghost type team.
Hey, for a troll
Into
team,
future
this
weeks
team
when I
is
can play
scary.
store.
For a troll
Yeah,
team,
I
this is
mean
scary, man. Like,
in a dual type draft, I think ghost normal is a bit troll, but I mean
I mean,
the like
it's types that complement each other really well. I mean,
yeah
at the end of
the
the day,
bulk that I have and the like I'm basically playing like pseudo stool or like super bulky offense. I just couldn't justify bringing it this week because Chomp
right?
just broke through everything. So
But
on to future weeks when I can justify bringing my funny little sets who just sit in front of everything. But
well,
if I've learned anything from this week, it's that mental herb can be an option on Smeagol instead of Sash,
yeah,
and probably I should think about that more often. But
yeah, that's fair. Cause like, but um, but all right. I think I think that's gonna do it. It was,
yeah, good to
so
chat. Good
yeah,
to
absolutely.
see what you were thinking about in the process. Very well
Yeah,
prepped on Nidoqueen, and
thank you. I
hopefully we get
appreciate it.
to. How long is the season? Do we get to run it back at any point?
No, I think everyone just plays everyone once. So if
Oh, okay, right.
maybe in
Well,
playoffs,
maybe if we stay on the same, yeah, if we stay on the same path of wins and losses, we'll
yeah,
probably end up running into each other later on. So
hope so. So
cool, mate. Look forward to it. Well, thanks for having me on, and I suppose I'll see you around the server, and hopefully see you in the playoffs or the finals or something.
absolutely. And so everybody, that is going to do it for us today. Thank you for joining me, sir. I appreciate it again. Thank you for the
Of
good
course.
game. It was a close game. And make sure if you watch this long, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and let me know what you think. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.